Well, what do we have here but a hat that arrived in a reasonable amount of time? As we can see, this is coming from, it looks like it says One Oak Field. I have read it's supposed to be pronounced One Oak, but that's not how you spell that. But anyways, that's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of the Tulsa Drillers. Now, the Drillers have been around since 1977, although Tulsa has had baseball since 1932, I believe it was. They did, of course, stop for World War II, as everybody did. There's even a brand new TV show all about it, and a great movie from the 90s featuring Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, known as, of course, A League of Their Own. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the Tulsa Drillers. Now, they, whenever they moved into Tulsa in 1977, they were in a field that was not great. So they built them a new stadium, 8,000 seats. And for 1 year, it was called Robert B. Sutton Stadium. Robert B. Sutton was a local oil executive, because Oklahoma does a little bit of oil drilling. If you've ever driven through it, you'll know that. And so 1 year later, he was caught for some fraud stuff, and so they're like, nope, can't have the stadium named after him anymore. So it became the Tulsa County Stadium, and now it's One Oak Field. So they also have a pretty terrible distinction as being the reason why base coaches in Major League Baseball wear helmets. In 2007, they had a batting coach that was at the first base coach's box and was hit by a line drive and died an hour later. So if you've ever wondered why they wear helmets now, it's because of him. So anyways, we are here for the hat, right? And as you can see, it is my favorite color, bright green. And right here, you see no reference to drilling. That's because, like many minor league teams, they do occasionally change their name and they become the Noodlers. Now, I grew up in Missouri, where noodling is a very real possibility. In fact, as a child, I knew a hole in a lake where a catfish went. I still think of that catfish today because we should all have a legendary fish in our lives. And it had a white spot on its head, swam into a muskrat hole every spring, and I should have reached in and grabbed it. It would have been my one moment of noodling. I honestly could have stayed out of the water the whole time. I would have gotten all the credit without any of the effort of the people who really do it. And as you can see, this catfish, oddly not a Mississippi River catfish. In order to have a catfish this large, it would probably be somewhere in the Mekong River in China. But we do get some pretty large ones in the Mississippi River and all over the Midwest. So I do love the theme here. I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious. And, of course, I love the colors. So, as is tradition, I am going to peel off all of these stickers. By the way, hat prices are going up. In case you guys didn't know, when I started this project, hat prices were on average about $32 to $35, and we are pushing regularly into the 40s now. So, you're welcome. And of course, as is also tradition, we're going to go ahead and roll up that bill and crease it really terribly right there in the center. So the other next hat is already on the way, as is always the case. So look forward to your enjoyment of that one.